A law firm has launched a website offering potential justice to victims of abuse within WWE amid the allegations against the former TKO and WWE executive chairman Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and the company WWE itself. Speaking of the scandal and allegations against the company, a former WWE ring boy is set to participate in an interview discussing that scandal, as well as talking about Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson. Dave Meltzer suggests that Stephanie McMahon must have known about the allegations and behavior of Vince McMahon in WWE, an update on the Netflix documentary about the life of Vince McMahon, plus also more details on the current injury status of our Hijo del Vikingo in AEW. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Vince McMahon and the allegations against himself, John Laurinaitis, and WWE. Now, the latest in this saga, in this story, comes from a law firm, because law firm Pintus and Mullins has launched a website looking to offer potential justice to victims of sexual abuse in WWE. Now, the website, wwesettlements.com, states the following. We can actually get up the website in question here. There you can see it on the right-hand side of the screen right there. It says, Vince McMahon and WWE/UFC sex abuse and exploitation claims. If you were sexually assaulted, made to feel uncomfortable, or witnessed sexual abuse by Vince McMahon or anyone from WWE/UFC, you may be entitled to significant compensation. It goes on to offer a free claim review, saying all consultations are confidential. There are no fees unless you receive a settlement. It also goes on to then offer a sign-up page, which you can see right there, saying, were you sexually abused or exploited by Vince McMahon or anyone affiliated with WWE/UFC as well. Now, it continues on by saying Pintus and Mullins is one of the nation's leading law firms fighting sex abuse. Now, it also then says WWE founder Vince McMahon under investigation for exploitation and sex trafficking. It says, quote, Vince McMahon and WWE/UFC are under investigation for sexual assault and sex trafficking after former employees of WWE/UFC came forward with allegations of profoundly disturbing misconduct. According to a recent lawsuit, the founder and other leaders forced employees to participate in sexual acts by threatening to terminate their employment and share intimate images of them. This is not the first time Vince McMahon or WWE/UFC have faced accusations of sex abuse. In 1992, Rita Chatterton, the first female referee, came forward with allegations that she was raped by Vince McMahon while traveling with him in his limousine. In 2022, investigators seized documents and discovered non-disclosure agreements and multi-million-dollar payouts covering up sexual misconduct. Thousands of abuse victims are speaking up every year to receive the compensation and justice they deserve. Fill in the form above or call us today for a confidential and free conversation with our female attorneys. Now, we get into client testimonials there as well, but it continues on talking about the claims process and all of the process that's going in as well. It's also pointed out there that in the last 12 months, they have recovered more than $250 million in settlements for their clients as well. It also then says about speaking with one of their attorneys. If you had an uncomfortable experience with Vince McMahon or anyone affiliated with WWE/UFC, contact one of our female attorneys or paralegals today. Pintus and Mullins are one of the nation's leading law firms fighting sex abuse, and then goes into the rest of it as well. Now, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select 2, it's quite interesting because by all accounts, they've actually been running targeted ads on Facebook and Instagram as well, once again, to either current WWE employees or former WWE employees as well that has witnessed or experienced abuse at WWE. Of course, this is in the midst of this ongoing lawsuit that's been filed against WWE, Vince McMahon, and John Laurinaitis. The aforementioned recent lawsuit was filed on January 25th, against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE. And obviously, the allegations there are deeply disturbing. So, what are your thoughts when it comes to this website? Do you think this is just the latest development in it? What's your reaction to it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, of course, WWE is filled with a scandalous past, and one of the scandals was the ring boy scandal. Now, after many, many years, amid a slew of sexual misconduct allegations against former WWE chairman Vince McMahon, a former WWE ring boy is coming forward to tell his story about the alleged abuse that went on in the company in the early 1990s. Now, the first part of the interview, which is hosted by Lee Cole, the brother of former WWE ring boy Tom Cole, who took his own life in February 2021, is set to drop this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wrestling with the Devil, a Lee Cole 111 podcast YouTube channel. Now, Tom had previously accused former WWE wrestler Terry Garvin, former WWE ring announcer Mel Phillips, and WWE Hall of Famer Pat Patterson of sexual misconduct and harassment. The synopsis for tonight's interview reveals that the interviewee is called Sean, and he's a 23-year military veteran and former policeman. During the interview, he will discuss Garvin, Phillips, Patterson, and McMahon. This will be his first discussion about what happened to him as a ring boy in WWE, and he will also shed some light on what others experience. Garvin, Phillips, and Patterson were all accused of sexually harassing underage ring boys. All three men resigned from WWE soon after, with only Patterson later returning to the promotion. Shortly after Tom took his own life, his brother hit out at McMahon and his former wife Linda McMahon on social media, claiming the pair let child molesters work for WWE and did everything in their power to cover it up. An out-of-court settlement was reached with Tom after allegations were made. So, of course, once we get any more details as to the interview and possibly more allegations that come out from that, we'll of course let you know in a future video. Now, Stephanie McMahon, quite a lot's been made about Stephanie McMahon and her knowledge of the situation. Of course, she's since stepped away from WWE before it even merged with UFC to form TKO Group Holdings, and WWE is currently under the microscope following a sexual misconduct lawsuit filed against the company, Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, by former employee Janelle Grant. Running perpendicular to Grant's case has been the re-emergence of late former WWE superstar Ashley Massaro's sexual assault allegations made in 2016 when she alleged that she was drugged and sexually assaulted by members of the US Armed Forces while on tour with WWE in Kuwait in 2006. She also alleged that Vince McMahon abused her, but WWE denied any knowledge of her claims following her suicide in 2019. It's since emerged that not only were WWE executives aware of Massaro's claims, at least that's what former Executive Vice President of Talent Relations John Laurinaitis has said via his attorney, but there was an active attempt to dissuade her from continuing her pursuit. Furthermore, a friend of Massaro has claimed that the former co-CEO of WWE, Stephanie McMahon, spoke to her about the incident, only for the WWE board to subsequently threaten her into silence. Dave Meltzer addressed the situation as it pertains to Stephanie McMahon during Wrestling Observer Radio, reporting what he had heard from WWE talent. He said that from those he had spoken to, there was a belief that Vince is guilty of what he's been accused of, and there's no way it could be said that she and WWE as a whole didn't know. He noted how the perception of her had changed, as even when the allegations against her father and John Laurinaitis emerged, she had been seen as someone who had lost a power play within the company, leading to her 2023 departure as he returned. According to Meltzer, some people have been significantly impacted by Stephanie McMahon's implication. However, it's also raised questions over WWE CCO Paul Triple H Levesque, considering he is both Stephanie McMahon's husband and a high-ranking official in WWE, as well as the son-in-law of Vince McMahon, with many people suggesting Triple H must have known what was going on. How would he not know what happened at the time? So, what are your thoughts when it comes to this? Do you think Stephanie McMahon was aware of the allegations? Do you think she was aware of Vince McMahon's behavior? And the same goes to Triple H. Was he aware? Do you think he was aware? How could he not be aware, according to some people? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, it's quite interesting, certainly, as well, because all of these allegations and really what's enveloped Vince McMahon over the last couple of years has been at the backdrop of this Netflix documentary that's been in production for several years at this point. Now, over the last several years, Netflix has been producing a documentary on former WWE CEO Vince McMahon. However, with the recent allegations against McMahon that have come to light, it's unclear whether the streaming platform still intends to release the project. Speaking on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer shared what he knows regarding the project's status and content. He said, quote, "I haven't heard anything about the release of the doc," Meltzer said. "This changes the whole doc 100%. They were done. It was going to be out very, very soon. I don't know how it can possibly be out very, very soon now," end quote. Now, Netflix had previously pulled the McMahon docuseries in 2022 after allegations against McMahon first surfaced, but those allegations were kept vague and McMahon later returned to power. At some point along the way, Netflix resumed production, but Meltzer stated that the theme of the series had changed from the original idea, presumably meaning that the production began incorporating the latest round of accusations against McMahon. Meltzer, who was interviewed for the documentary, stated that the producers asked questions about McMahon's seedier past, such as the rape allegation by former referee Rita Chatterton. If the documentary does come out, Meltzer feels the stories of Janelle Grant and Ashley Massaro must be included as well. He said, quote, Vince himself said he wanted an honest doc, Meltzer continued. I don't think he wanted it this honest, and I don't think at the time he knew that these skeletons would be coming out the closets, and the stuff that he thought was covered up ended up being uncovered, end quote. Now, at this time, Netflix is yet to make any statement on the status of the project. However, it's worth noting that WWE recently signed a deal to bring Raw to Netflix beginning in January 2025, days before Grant's allegations emerged. So, is the documentary series even still going to air on Netflix? Would Netflix air something so damning about a former executive chairman and CEO of a company which they've paid so much money to air their flagship broadcast on in the future? Let me know your thoughts about that as well. Certainly interesting stuff. And finally, an injury update on El Hijo del Vikingo. Now, AAA Mega Champion El Hijo del Vikingo had a breakout year in companies such as AEW and Ring of Honor in 2023, thanks to his performances against the likes of Kenny Omega, FTR, and Aussie Open. He's been the top champion in AAA since December 2021 and has shown no signs of slowing down until recently, when it was reported that he suffered a knee injury at an event in Mexico. Dave Meltzer gave an update on Vikingo's condition on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, where he confirmed that the AAA Mega Champion has suffered a meniscus injury that may require surgery. Meltzer also noted that surgery is looming in Vikingo's future, but he doesn't know when he'll have to have it. He said, quote, the knee was really bad. Meltzer said, quote, it's probably going to need surgery at some point soon, and this may speed this up, and he may be out for a pretty long length of time. AAA has yet to comment on the extent of Vikingo's injury, but if it is as severe as Meltzer suggests, it could lead to the 26-year-old vacating his championship. Now, this isn't the first time Vikingo has been in the news for injury-related reasons. During a Ring of Honor taping in September of last year, he landed awkwardly on his hip after diving and left the arena in a wheelchair. However, he fully recovered in a matter of weeks. Vikingo's jaw-dropping arsenal has made him a star attraction in the United States and Mexico over the last few years, despite people like Conan and Rey Mysterio telling him to slow down. But there you go, guys. That's latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.